The Pan-African expansion drive of the President and Chief Executive Officer of Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote GCON, to take cement, that vital raw material for construction, to the doorsteps of every African, resonated quite favorably with the people of the United Republic of Tanzania, who trooped out in their thousands with enthusiasm to give a warm embrace to that proud son of Africa, who is using the powerful tool of trade and investment to further cement and consolidate the existing bilateral ties among the peoples and governments of the African continent. Memories and echoes of the geography lesson we were taught as far back as our secondary school days about Tanzania being the home of the root of Africa and the legendary Kilimanjaro as the highest mountain in Africa provided fond nostalgia. The significance of Tanzania as home to one of the best-known wildlife reserves in the world, an ideal place for mining, manufacturing, and tourism, gives further credence to the wise choice of Dangote Group of siting its biggest plant outside Nigeria that will produce 3 million metric tons of cement annually in that part of Africa. It should be noted that Dangote cement plant in Obajana in Kogi State, with a production of over 10.2 million tons of cement annually, is the largest cement plant in Africa and second largest in the world. As has been the tradition since the Dangote Group began its journey of cementing the African continent, friends of the company from diverse areas of calling, the corporate, the business, the financial, banking, oil and gas, government, private sector, the political front, with past and present public office holders, and of course, practitioners from a wide range of media organizations, both domestic and foreign, again recorded a record-breaking attendance at the grand commissioning of the 3.0 metric tons Dangote cement plant in Mtwara, Tanzania. The event, which had a very impressive attendance of Tanzanians from different walks of life, attracted a very rich array of the top hierarchy of those at the commanding heights of leadership in Tanzania. Leading the pack was His Excellency Dr. Jakaya Msiro Kikwete, who was accompanied by his wife, ministers and other top government functionaries and representatives of the 28 regions that make up the United Republic of Tanzania, which has a population of 48 million people. There were representatives of other countries like Mozambique, Malawi, Chad, and the Comoro Islands. One thing that remains an abiding gain of the Dangote cement expansion program is the new spirit of love and brotherhood that is beginning to emerge among professionals from different sectors across the African continent who are beginning to know one another a lot better from a close range. All the barriers that had long engendered a lot of bad blood among brothers and sisters from the continent are being gradually broken as a new Africa emerges, where the buzzword is for all Africans to forge a common front to build a new, strong and united Africa, ready to take its rightful position in the committee of countries in the world. In the welcome remarks of the government of Nigeria, represented by Kaduna State Governor Malam Nasir Al-Rufai, he congratulated the Dangote Group for its decision to make Africa the centerpiece of its multi-billion-dollar investment, through which a lot of value is added to the efforts of the federal government of Nigeria at encouraging Nigerians to take advantage of its backward integration policy. Alhaji Aliko Dangote was congratulated as a leading standard bearer and face of Nigeria in the business world. The statement also extends gratitude to the government and people of the United Republic of Tanzania for supporting Alhaji Aliko Dangote's business drive.
I understand this fully integrated plant with a capacity of 3 million tons per annum, which we are commissioning today, cost over $600 million US. This is quite significant, and should rank among one of the biggest investments by an African company in Tanzania. It shows that Africa has indeed come of age and has started taking its destiny in its own hands, rather than wait endlessly for investors outside the continent. Only Africans will genuinely develop Africa, and this is starting from today. The Dangote Group has been quite optimistic about the future of Africa, as evidenced by its multi-billion-dollar investments across the continent. Africa will experience more growth and development if fellow African companies emulate Dangote by investing in sister African countries. As Nigerians, we are very proud of the Dangote Group and how it is demonstrating African solidarity by investing all across the continent.
The Prime Minister of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Mzengo Pinda, who was represented by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, said that the historic agreement to further strengthen the bilateral ties between Nigeria and Tanzania through the commissioning of the Dangote cement plant, which he signed on May 27, 2013, has come to fruition with the formal commissioning of the $600 million Dangote cement plant in Mtwara. He enjoined other investors, wherever they may be, to take advantage of the business-friendly climate prevalent in Tanzania to do business in the country because the benefits are enormous.
The inauguration of the Dangote cement factory that we are witnessing today here at Mtwara is the result of the government's commitment to create an enabling environment for investment in different sectors, including industries in Tanzania. The government has been implementing some reforms in economic policies and the regulatory framework in order to ensure that investment activities run smoothly for the development of the country.
In the remarks of the President and Chief Executive Officer of Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, GCON, which he began by thanking the Tanzanian government for the huge support he has received from the President and government of Tanzania, which has helped in the actualization of the project in a record time. He said when in full operation, the 3.0 metric tons per annum Dangote cement plant in Mtwara, Tanzania, will provide direct employment opportunities to 7,000 people from the different arms of the economy of Tanzania, especially the youth, small business owners, and other professionals with special skills.
The commissioning of this plant today is a historic occasion which further strengthens the existing cordial ties between our two countries, Tanzania and Nigeria on one hand, and between our company and Tanzania on the other hand. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this event is the outcome of the agreement that we signed with Tanzanian government shortly before we performed the groundbreaking ceremony just last on May 27th, 2013. That's about 2.5 years. We are glad that this project is now being commissioned.
Alhaji Aliko Dangote said, with the commissioning of the Dangote cement plant in Tanzania, there will be a positive turnaround that will lead to a marked increase in the per capita consumption of cement products for construction purposes, and it is also expected that Tanzania will become self-sufficient in cement production and will also be able to export to neighboring countries for the much-needed foreign exchange. The Dangote jetty, which was also launched, will help in the export of the cement through sea transportation. Alhaji Aliko Dangote also hinted that plans are afoot by his conglomerate to diversify into other areas of the Tanzanian economy like telecommunications, agriculture, mining and tourism to take full advantage of the business-friendly regulations and politically stable environment in Tanzania, which are key factors that can aid the growth and sustenance of businesses. This, he said, will have a salutary and multiplier effect on the Tanzanian economy, which has maintained a 7% growth GDP making it one of the fastest growing economies in the entire Eastern and Central Africa.
Indeed, Tanzania is one of the most attractive investment destinations in Africa. This is attested to by the substantial amount of foreign direct investment that flows into the country annually. The economic reforms in Tanzania, especially in tax, public sector, financial sector, innovations in rural finance, telecommunication and infrastructure, as well as revamped legislative frameworks, have produced the enabling environment that has further provided a platform for future growth. And we are definitely looking at investing in agriculture in the near future.
Alhaji Aliko Dangote also expressed his deep appreciation to the federal government of Nigeria for the enabling climate created for businesses to thrive in the country, which has even encouraged the Dangote Group to expand its business scope across the African continent.
The Dangote cement investment, which we have already showcased in Ethiopia, Cameroon, and Zambia, will certainly contribute to Tanzania's ongoing story of infrastructural development and job creation and broad economic development. We have received tremendous support and encouragement from both the government and the good people of Tanzania, and I would like to say that we are really very grateful.
In his own remarks, which he delivered in the native Kiswahili language of the Tanzanian people, President Mshuro Kikwete of Tanzania, who ends 10 years of 2 terms of 5 years each in office this October, saluted Alhaji Aliko Dangote for citing the giant Dangote cement plant in Mtwara, Tanzania, a project he confirmed is the largest by any foreign investor in Tanzania. He said the commissioning of the cement plant is coming at a time when the demand for cement by Tanzanians is very high. He is optimistic that Dangote cement will help to bring down prices of the commodity to enable the natives carry out their construction obligations.
Kualika wawekezaji wengine kutoka Nigeria kuja kuwekeza nchini. Tunazo fursa nyingi kwenye maeneo ya viwanda, ujenzi wa nyumba, utalii, miundombinu, mafuta na gesi asilia, teknohama na...
The Dangote Group, which has a complement of the best hands in all sectors of the economy, has continued to break more grounds and was recently listed by the Nigerian Stock Exchange as one of the companies that meet the exchange's most stringent listing criteria of capitalization, governance, and liquidity. It's the new listing platform by the Nigerian Stock Exchange on its premium board for the best companies. The plan of the Dangote Group to invest in the acquisition of oil refinery, a multi-year program to train over 100 employees of the company on how to run a refinery, is ongoing. The refinery project which Dangote Group is embarking on is to redress the paradox of a situation where Nigeria, as one of the world's largest producers and exporters of crude oil, yet sadly remains the largest importer of refined petroleum products. Dangote Refinery Project is expected to begin production in the first quarter of 2018. The entire world has continued to take note of the bold strides of Dangote Group in spreading the cement message to all parts of Africa. The awards have been coming in from different directions. Dangote Cement PLC recently won the award of Africa Business Company of the Year 2015. Indeed, Alhaji Aliko Dangote was also honored with the Clinton Global Citizen Award for Leadership in the Private Sector at its annual meeting in New York for Alhaji Dangote's exemplary and selfless dedication to positively impacting lives of people globally through numerous philanthropic initiatives through Dangote Foundation. Alhaji Aliko Dangote is not only creating wealth but distributing it through different means across the continent. The Pan-African Dangote Cement Expansion Drive will hit Senegal and South Africa before the end of this year, which will bring to 6 the number of plants that Dangote Group has commissioned this year. Other plants across Africa are at various stages of completion.
Okay.